Hi guys and girls, this is Unhinged Logic with Monkey Boy Steve, and today is the first in a series of retro reviews. I am reviewing Alex Kidd in Miracle World, which came out on the Sega Master System in 1986 in Japan and 1987 internationally. It was a 2D platforming game with side-scrolling action and some that was on a single screen. You basically had to play through a multitude of levels. I think there's about 16-17 levels that you had to play through to basically earn yourself coin to be able to purchase items such as a motorbike, a helicopter. You could get yourself a little box that allowed you to fly, a little box that gave you invincibility for a while, a cane that allowed you to fly. You got a laser ring which destroyed all the rocks in a section. It was fantastic. You had to go up against bosses who you played janking matches, which was basically rock paper scissors. I'm sure that at some point in the future there will be a video on the channel of me doing the rock paper scissors challenge, which is the thing that's going on YouTube at the moment, where the loser of rock paper scissors gets their face shoved into a towel full of flour or syrup or whatever, because my missus will get me doing it because she's got a channel, Wonderful Life of Dolly. The link will be in the description below. So young Alex Kidd learns of a villain named Jankin the Great who has defeated King Thunder of the city of Radaxan and who has kidnapped his son Prince Eagle and Eagle's fiancée Princess Lorna. Discovering that he is the long lost son of King Thunder, Alex sets out on a quest to rescue the kingdom. On his quest, he defeats Jankin's henchmen and retrieves various items which lead him towards Jankin the Great, whom he defeats and turns to stone. Alex retrieves the crown and the people of Radaxan are restored under the newly crowned King Eagle. So that is basically the fundamentals of the game. Apparently it's going to be remade in 2021, or they're in the process of remaking it at the moment. They've titled it Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX, and it's going to be available on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch and PC. And apparently it hosts new levels, alternate boss fights and options for modern or retro style graphics. Right, so my review on the game. I love this game as a kid. It was probably one of the first games I ever played on a games console, and I remember having multitude of arguments with my siblings due to the fact that we was a one TV household, and it was that thing of coming home from school wanting to play on Alex Kidd. My sister's also coming home from secondary school, being a few years older than me, and wanting to watch whatever was on TV, whether it be Sons and Daughters or I think one of my sisters really liked Grange Hill as well. That was another one that I couldn't stand. But yeah, so I got to the point of my dad got to the point where he was sick and tired of hearing the arguments, so he brought me my first ever television. It was a black and white set, and the reception on it was really bad, but in regards to playing the console, it was fantastic. But I also remember there was a few times when my dad came into my bedroom at probably 10 o'clock at night when I was supposed to have been settling down because I had school the next day, and instead of removing the whole console, he would take the lead from the back of the television. So I would have my console there, I would have the cartridge there, I would have the controller, but no way of playing it for the simple fact he took that lead. And I was like, "Urgh!" As a kid, it was one of those things. So I spent many a Saturday evening playing on this game in my bedroom, and to be honest with you, I think it was one of those things that got me into my love affair of gaming with Sega, because I went from the Sega Master System to a Sega Mega Drive. I had the 32X for the Mega Drive, and then I progressed up to the Sega CD, and then I had a Sega Saturn, which then led on to newer consoles such as the PS1, the PS2, such and such, and the PC, which is what I'm on now. I don't currently own a Sega Master System or Mega Drive, but I have purchased a purchased copy of the game, which I'm playing on an emulator. I can't believe how expensive they are though. It's about $5.99 to actually purchase this game. So it's that thing of, and one of the emulators that came with the bundle, it wasn't very good for recording, so it was like, one of my friends told me to try this one because it'd work, and lo and behold it has. So this is a voiceover of me playing the game, and as you can probably tell from watching the video, I am not that good at it. It's been over 30 years since I played this game, and there was many a times where I will admit playing these janking matches with this stupid music for days afterwards. I would be walking around going, I would literally hum that music because it would get stuck in my head for days on end. But it was a progression of time. I think the first time I ever completed the game, it probably took me about an hour and a half to complete it, but that was in between pausing, doing other bits and bobs. One of the things I don't understand with it is on this copy that I've got, he's eating like, I'm assuming it's like a coconut cake or something like that, but in the version that I had, you saw him eating like a cheeseburger. I don't know whether it's region specific. If anyone knows, if you could comment in the comments section, that'd be something great to know, because I've always pondered it, because I remember playing it, and in between the levels where it had the map and showed you where he was going to next, he would be sat there with a big fat greasy cheeseburger, but on this version he's eating a cream cake, so I'm like, or a coconut cake, whatever it is, I really don't know. So if anyone out there has actually got an answer for that, I would appreciate an answer, because it's one of those things that baffles me. So anyway, back to the gameplay. What I have noticed, because I'm using an Xbox One controller, is the Xbox One controller doesn't seem as what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't seem as sensitive for picking up the button controls compared to how it was with the Sega Master System controller, because there was a lot of times playing through it where I was like trying to do a jump and then a punch, and it was just jumping and not reacting to the punch button. So I think I might have to invest in a Sega Master System controller for the PC. Oh, that was just me tapping the mic there, I didn't mean to do that. A multitude of levels that you play through, and some of them are just so repetitive. I've got to say, the music, looking back on it now, I would say the only downside I would say to the game is how repetitive the music is, because many levels it has this track behind it, which is basically the same music as in the intro for the game. But overall, it was a very much a nostalgia trip playing it. There's quite a lot of games that I used to play that are going to come up in the retro reviews. There was another one that I had on Sega Master System which was called Quartet, called Quartet, which will be coming up in a later review. But then I'll probably do some reviews on the Sega Mega Drive as well. There's a few games on there, such as Outrun, the first Mortal Kombat, possibly. There's a few other games that I like to play on it. Another one that got me into my love of football management games was Premier Manager for the Sega Mega Drive, which was a cartridge game. I used to sit and play that for hours. At one point I did have a Nintendo, the old NES, and I did have Mario and stuff like that, and I've got to say I do like Mario, I do like the NES, but I think that when the SNES came out and then the Mega Drive came out as well, it was for me it was a no-brainer to go for the Sega Mega Drive, because I was so used to playing Sega titles. I like the titles that they had, and now I think it's more looking back and going, I think that there was the people who liked the Sega and there was people who liked Nintendo, and I was definitely a Sega boy. One of my friends, he actually had he started off with the Game Boy and that, and then he sort of went on to the SNES and all the alternative consoles, but for me it was Sega. And I think looking back now, I think there would have been, oh my god, 3 deaths in under 9 minutes. That's got to be some kind of record. I don't know, that's how bad I am. Literally 3 deaths in 9 minutes of playing the game. And it always seems to be that there's a part in it where I put a title on it where I says I rage quit at this point 30 years ago. I remember playing the game and I rage quit at exactly the same point because I did exactly the same thing. The helicopter was really good, but it was quite hard to control. And there we've got some stuff here telling you about what I've said. The Tyrant, Jankin the Great. So looking at it, is it a cream cake? It looks like a cream cake to me. I'm not 100% sure. In regards to the gameplay, I would say that there wasn't many things that would kill you. It wasn't like dramatic, and there was the opportunity on multiple levels to actually gain extra lives, and if you were really careful you could probably get through the game without dying once. I think I did a gameplay on it when I was about 17-18 where I played through, and it was the first time I'd ever played through it without actually dying, so I was quite proud of myself for that. But I look back on the game now and you can see how far graphics have gone in regards to the games we've got, the different levels of games, the fact that you can spend 10 plus hours on a game and not even be a quarter of the way through it, whereas with this one it's probably about 30-40 minutes for someone who really knows what they're doing. But me, I'm not one of those people. I'm sort of I like to explore every corner that I can explore, which when you sort of, and I can't believe I fell just there. Cream cake yet again. This is the level where coming up where I remember rage quitting, and I put the title in on the video. This is a voiceover. I can't remember if I said that or not. This is a voiceover. I recorded the video on Thursday because we're on Friday now. There you go, because I'm going to upload this on Friday, and there me go tapping the mic again. Yeah, so I basically, as I was playing through, because I wouldn't have been able to do the voiceover and do the playing because I haven't got the concentration for that with the ADHD thing, so it's quite hard for me to difficult. But this point coming up in about 3 seconds was me rage quitting 30 years ago. Did exactly rage quit here 30 years ago. I remember that point to a T because I remember doing it, and as I was editing the video I thought to myself, I rage quit there 30 plus years ago as a kid, because I think it was probably about the second or third time I'd ever played the game and getting to that point and dying. I would say overall, if I was to rate the game now, I would say for the gameplay I would give it a solid 3 out of 5 for the length of how long you can play it for. For the graphics, for the time, it would definitely be a 5 out of 5, but comparing it to a Sega Mega Drive, I would say a 4 out of 5 for what it was. Replay value, I would say once you completed it, there's nothing new you can do, and so it's one of those. I mean, there's a lot of people who say that, like, you know, they've played it and there's different things you can do, but I've never found anything. Apparently there's a level where you can actually, sort of like Super Mario, where you can get right to the top and you can cheat right to the end, but I've never come across that. This was another point where a friend of mine told me how to defeat this level, because I used to punch the hell out of this bull or ball, whatever it was, and it was that thing of going, right, you know, use the laser and you'll get it over and done with. So on that, my waffling on as I do on Unhinged Logic with Monkey Boy Steve, I am going to call it here. I love this game. I think it's fantastic. If you like, don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Thank you very much for watching.